These are 5 tips for Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is a team-based survival horror game from Behavior Interactive. In this game, you get to choose your role. Do you want to evade a murdering psychopath while repairing generators to escape? Or do you want to unleash your inner killer to hunt down friends and strangers and sacrifice them to the creature of the sky? You can do both. Your choice, I won't judge you. Either way, we've got some killer tips for you. Tip number 1, know your killer. Dead by Daylight gives many choices when it comes to the killer you want to be, each with their own special abilities, which changes the game drastically. And if you're a killer, you want to choose which ability will best help you prepare the sacrifices. The Trapper can place traps around, meaning the survivors need to watch their step when it comes to rescuing your friends from hooks. The Hag has a voodoo skill, which she can place that pops up a copy of her when a survivor comes close to it, alerting her and allowing her to take control of the copy if she wishes. The Hillbilly has a charge attack in which he lunges at the survivor with his chainsaw. If he makes contact, the survivor is immediately downed instead of the normal 2 hits. The Wraith, my personal favorite, can go invisible. While he is invisible, the survivors cannot hear his heartbeat. It's a great way to sneak up on people, however the Wraith can't attack when invisible. The Nurse has a blink ability where she's able to warp a few feet in front of her. That's helpful as it allows you to warp through walls and barriers. Last is the Doctor. The Doctor can shock survivors that are nearby, making them go insane. They'll begin screaming, seeing fake killers, making skill checks they don't even need to do, and if they reach Tier 3, they'll be unable to repair generators or even heal others. That Doctor's mean. Tip number 2, perks of surviving. Each character has their own teachable perks. As you play through Dead by Daylight, depending on how well you do, you earn these things called blood points. These can be used to advance your character even further in their blood web, which could provide more items, new perks, and even offerings. Perks and item add-ons can also be obtained while leveling up. These can do various things to improve your odds of living. You don't have to spend the blood points on the character you've been playing though. Blood points are a global bank, which can be applied to any survivor or killer you wish. Tip number 3, the hatch. When surviving, your goal is always to make it out as a team. However, fairly often actually, it doesn't go as planned. Teammates make mistakes, people die, you know how it goes. Luckily, Dead by Daylight has 2 ways to escape. Be sure to be on the lookout for the hatch. It's easy to miss, but it's basically a trapdoor on the ground. Each game, the trapdoor randomizes its spawn point in one of the 4 locations. If you spot it, make a mental note of where it is in case worse comes to worse. You know, Murphy's Law and all. The hatch opens if 2 conditions are met. There's only 1 survivor left alive, and at least 2 generators have been powered. So if you're one of the 2 survivors left and someone gets grabbed, you can make your way towards the hatch. Once they fall into their deep slumber, you can wish them good night and jump into the now open trapdoor and escape. Ignore what they said as they saw you running the other direction. They didn't mean it. So cherish the good memories you had together. They were only mad because they were just impaled with a rusty hook, and deep down, they wanted you to live. What a good friend. Tip 4, ears and eyes. Dead by Daylight is best played with headphones, as there are many things that can alert you to a survivor's location. Around each map, there are a murder of crows placed around. When a survivor or killer gets close to them, they will caw and fly off. If the killer has a good set of ears, they can easily find where the crows are flying from and track down the survivors. Knowing the sounds around can help you find those pesky trespassers. These audio cues become even more prominent if you're playing the Doctor and causing people to go insane. Keeping an eye out is also helpful. Every time a survivor messes up a skill check, the killer is notified right away. That happened to me all the time. If a survivor is running, they'll leave red scratch marks on their surroundings as they pass by, which can be a good breadcrumb trail for the killer to follow. Tip 5, ensuring the kill. Finding the survivor is only half the journey. The killers are only slightly faster than the survivors, so a chase is probably required. Be careful though, survivors can use the environment to evade you easily, hopping over barriers, blocking the path, and even stunning the killer with pallets. Staying one step ahead is the best approach. Trying to predict where the survivor is evading to can allow you that opening to strike. Dead by Daylight is a fantastic game to play with friends. Go ahead and let out some of your personal frustrations and let your friends have a greater purpose in life by becoming sacrifices. Dead by Daylight also features matchmaking, so even if your friends aren't around, you can still play with strangers. Who doesn't like sacrificing a few strangers? I mean, you don't feel bad about killing strangers, do you? Is that weird?